Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. So cancel culture, have you seen it? Have you heard of it? Of course you have. We live in this sad reality where literally anything is up for the chopping block at the hands of cancel culture. And what we're going to look at today is the absolute zenith of a logical cloud-fueled hysteria that is all too commonplace these days. Needless to say, cancel culture is an absolute joke, and most people are able to see through the feigned outrage its proponents rely upon. Relevant to this channel, anime is one of the most recognizable victims of this socially engineered movement, and if you think that's an exaggeration, let's take a moment to reflect on some of the quote-unquote controversies that have taken place in the past year or two involving anime. I mean, we had fictional adult-aged dragon characters being cancelled for having too big of breasts, while simultaneously being cancelled for being the depiction of literal human children. We also had claims of whitewashing in an anime adaptation, where a tan character with visible tan lines was confused for a person of color, despite the manga stressing that she has fair skin and it's been tanned due to playing outdoor activities. And we even had the classifying of fictional adult-aged working women as little girls for no other reason than the fact that they're short. Look, you get it, cancel culture has transcended all barriers of logic. It's bad, but what we're going to look at today is one of the worst I've seen, honestly. Ladies and gentlemen, it's official. Dungeons & Dragons is racist. That's right, the role-playing game that has peacefully existed for decades is now being cancelled for perpetuating racism. Now you may be thinking to yourself, Rev, how does this fantasy-based role-playing game with no connection to reality involving whimsical characters and monsters parallel any real-life form of racism? Well, luckily for you, bigot, Twitter has that covered, because over recent months, do-gooders have taken time from their unemployment to cancel Dungeons & Dragons, eventually leading to this. The publishers behind the game, Wizards of the Coast, have now removed problematic lore from the game. Yeah, so when you see someone unironically use the term problematic, you know there's trouble. But what exactly did they remove from the lore? I mean, it's been untouched for a great deal of time, and since it's all fantasy-based, it must have a striking and inappropriate connection to real-life racism to be problematic. Well, Wizards of the Coast decided to remove content regarding beholders and mind flayers, two races that are categorically defined as aberrations in the game. Aberrations literally meaning otherworldly, but apparently their subjugation and enslavement of other races in the game bears too much resemblance to real-life examples of slavery. I just want to know, who looks at this and thinks of a real-life person of color? Because all of these people complaining about this are making that exact connection. That connection, of course, being that these monsters look like people of color. Well, guys, I think we identified the real racists in this scenario. And of course, with the release of these changes, came with it the reaction on social media, and you guessed it, there were people celebrating these changes because they feel like the game is more safe now for the player base. Besides the completely laughable connection between these characters in D&D and real life, I think the ultimate irony here is that this is a fantasy-based role-playing game, a choose-your-own-adventure styled activity that relies on your sense of imagination. One of the responses on social media was that if people didn't like these changes, they can make up their own lore, which is precisely the point. You don't cater your entire game to fit the need of a few handfuls of schizos who see real-life people of color when they look at fantasy-based monsters. If they have a problem there, they are the ones who need to use their own brains to work around that lore that offends them so much. This whole thing is mind-blowing, and despite social media putting pressure on them, it's the Wizards of the Coast who bear the blame here for entertaining the demands of these idiots. But anyways, that's gonna do it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.